it, that the love is real, that the shoe might fit. She might just be my everything and beyond space and time in the afterlife. Will she have my kids? Will she be my wife? She might just be my everything and beyond.
It's Monday. Welcome back to Morning Coffee with Rick Alexander. Intro music, as always, was provided by Brittany Taylor. She's at Barbell Brittany on Instagram. And I am at Rick Alexander _ and at Lionheart Radio. If you guys are digging these shows, you head to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. I'll love you for the longest time. And if you want to work more through some of these topics, I have a lot of coaching that I do. I do some performance coaching. I do some endurance coaching. So if you're interested in that, then hit me up. Also, I've got the second installment of the Clarity Academy that's going to launch in March. The point of that program is to really figure out who you are and what you want out of life. And beyond that, there's a lot of self-exploration about how to figure out how to set your environment out, how to do some self-exploration, and how to sort of take a personal inventory of your life. And if it's not where you want it to be, to point it in the right direction. That's the point of the Clarity Academy. So if you guys are interested in that, again, hit me up and we'll get you in the next one. I think we're about 80% full, so hit me up. So today I have a question for you, and this question is going to be decently painful or exhaustive to try to answer yourself, and so you're really going to have to think, because here's the thing that happens. Sometimes when we ask ourselves how we're doing, we tell ourselves that we're doing better than we actually are, and that's a psychological coping mechanism, but it doesn't help if you actually have a goal that you want to get to, right? It just helps protect you from the harsh realities of the world, but it doesn't help you actually get somewhere, right? It doesn't help you move through time and space in an effective manner. And so you have to be very honest with yourself. So think about your goals, think about your life, think about the things that you're doing, and then ask yourself, are you doing that thing, or are you going after that thing, that title, that position, that whatever your goal looks like? Are you doing that thing because you want to, or do you just feel like it will make you worthy of love, respect, and affirmation? So that is really difficult. If I inventory my own life, I can look back and I can see all of these things that I did that were really because I thought those were the things that were going to make me worthy of love. And here's something that's interesting. If you can get free of that, then what you'll find is that the things that you're free to actually do, or you're going to get a lot more entertainment out of. You're going to get a lot more enjoyment and well-being out of, right? So if you're doing something because you think that it's going to make you look good for other people, and that's what I mean when I say worthy of love and respect and validation, then there's a hollowness, right? There's like an emptiness. It's not fulfilling on the right level. And if we spend our whole lives doing work and chasing things that aren't fulfilling to us, because meaning is a deeply personal thing. It's based on your values, the way that you see the world, the way that you interact with things. Like, meaning is so deeply personal. There are certain things that you want to make sure that you do in order to live a meaningful life. A shameless plug for my next book, because that's all going to be in there. But if you spend your life chasing something that doesn't necessarily have intrinsic meaning to you, you just think it's going to mean something to somebody else, then the attainment of that thing isn't even going to provide any kind of lasting happiness or well-being or even enjoyment, right? It's just going to feel hollow and empty because it wasn't for you in the first place. And so the question to ask yourself when you think about your career and you think about even the person that you're dating, when you think about the things that you're doing, the things that you're posting online, just really like inventory your entire life and try to figure out which ones you're doing because you think it's going to provide some kind of validation for somebody else, and then which ones you're doing because you actually love that thing. I've had a cognitive shift take place in the last couple weeks, and that cognitive shift, that's basically when your perspective shifts and you look at something in a different way. And my entire life, I had been working and striving and hustling so that I thought when I got to a certain level of success, I would be able to afford the lifestyle that I wanted. Now, the cognitive shift that took place for me is when I moved to Colorado and I sort of jumped into all of the things I've always done on the weekends, like snowboarding and just adventuring and being in the mountains and running. When I moved here and I started doing all of the things that I love the most all the time, the cognitive shift that took place for me is now all of a sudden I'm not working to get a certain lifestyle. Now I'm working to keep the lifestyle that I love. And that has made all of the difference because I'm motivated in a meaningful way now, right? It's not this abstract thing that doesn't really mean something to me. It means something to somebody else. Now it's like, no, I have it. I feel it. I literally am living it. And now all of my motivation is how can I keep this for as long as possible? And that's honestly a cognitive shift that I hope everybody makes, because how many of us tend to put off the things that we want to the future, saying like, once we get there, we'll be happy. But, I've done shows on that. But the shift that takes place is just do the things that you want to do now. Like, figure it out. You're going to figure it out if you just start doing them. And then you have like an avalanche of motivation, because it sort of like builds on itself. Once you actually are doing the things that you love, then you start realizing how much you actually do love them. And that motivation to continue to participate in a life that you love is much stronger. And so you really have to be careful that you're not doing things because they mean something to somebody else, because it's going to leave you a little bit empty. A way to ask yourself this, or a way to think through this as a thought experiment for yourself, might be, if nobody was ever going to know the title of that thing, but you were still going to do the work between 9 and 5 or whatever that looks like, would you continue to do it? If you were going to take a high profile job as a CEO, but nobody was going to know that you were the CEO of that job, but you still had to show up every day and run the company and do all of the things, would you still want to be the CEO of that thing? And that's a question I had to ask myself in business a lot of times, because it was like, I wanted to own a business and say I built a big business because I wanted people to look at me like a business mogul. Once I built the life that I wanted, and now I'm doing the show that I wanted, and I coached, like all these things are just things that I deeply wanted, that meant something to me, that I do now, the writing, the coaching, and the speaking. Now I've gone about setting my life up so I can just do more of what I love. And that's where my focus is. And because that's where my focus is, I'm actually deeply concerned with the craft itself. And so I want to be a good speaker. I want to be a good writer. And I'm constantly learning and researching and tweaking. Same thing with coaching. And so the course correction might be, if you're honest with yourself and you find that you're doing something for the respect or the love or the validation of that thing, well, then the course correction is to find a craft that you're in love with and then allow that craft to change your life. Let's use a personal trainer example. So if you wanted to be a really good personal trainer, the goal that people might have is, well, I want to be a personal trainer for celebrities or professional athletes or Olympic athletes or whatever that looks like, right? The thing that you need to do in order to ensure your maximum success in that thing is to, well, one, you have to love coaching and training, obviously, but you want to focus on the craft, be the absolute best personal trainer that you can, so that you can charge the absolute most that makes sense for your service. And then as you continue to perfect that craft, you have no idea where that's going to go, who's going to see it, who is going to see you doing that thing and then decide that they want that in their economy or their life or whatever. See, we think about the outcome based on the validation we want, and then we make that our goal. The reality is that the goal should be focused on the craft, because that's the journey, that's the process, that's the thing that's going to matter the most, and it's going to dictate the quality of your life between 9 to 5, or again, whatever that looks like for you. So instead of focusing on fame or money or safety or whatever God you're worshiping at the altar of right now, instead of that, just think about the craft. Think about the things that you absolutely love to do, because it is profoundly life-changing when you're spending every day doing things that you absolutely love to do. Hope this one makes sense. If you guys have questions, like I do a ton of goal setting, coaching, whatever, I do it in the Clarity Academy. So I'd love to talk to you about it. So if it's a good fit, hit me up. Have a great Monday. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later on Morning Coffee.
Searching for you, so let the sky fall down with freedom. Let the rain make you feel brand new. I'm feeling free, no stress, no chains in it, and it ain't no pain when you're with me. And it clears my brain when you speak my name, puts me at ease. Everything must change, but it never ever feels strange when you're with me. Look, when you're with me, ayy, we're the overseas, in the ocean breeze, where no one's free. You can shake your freedom from the coast to the Congo, to the West Indies, to the nation of the Haitians. It's amazing that the age still wasting. Break them off a little, let your beauty shine until the sunrise on a new nation. I need you right here with me, baby. You know that I've been out there searching for you. So let the sky fall down with freedom. Let the rain make you feel brand new. Alone. We going there tomorrow. We gonna get there someday. Yeah. We going there tomorrow. Yeah, we gonna catch that freedom train. I'm alive though, in Cairo, cause of you, baby. Keep me new, baby. In Libya, we acting up, but I know that you gon' come through, baby. Can't tie you down, got too many crying now. That'll take their lives and lie 'em down. Might have failed in the past, but we trying now. Once was a cub, I'm a lion now. In love with the sexy, sweet idea that you speak to me, nothing's above. What you do to men when they listen to you speaking, I won't budge, never leave your side. Baby, I'm alive, and the love that we make makes history, so just hold on and let's ride. I need you right here with me, baby. You know that I've been out there searching for you. So let the sky fall down with freedom. Let the rain make you feel brand new. Say, we going there tomorrow. We gonna get there someday. Yeah, say, we going there tomorrow. Tomorrow we gonna catch that freedom train. I've been out there searching for you. So let the sky fall down with freedom. Let the rain make you feel brand new. I need you right here with me, baby. You know that I've been out there searching for you.